Hello and welcome to another episode of the recap, number 20. So, what we do this week? Well, first of all, we got through Tomb Raider. That was pretty good. Both the game and the event of getting through it. So basically, it's a scavenger hunt. The whole game is a scavenger hunt. As an ending sort of summary of the thing, I feel like a lot of it is just a scavenger hunt, is the basic idea of the game. So if you know the original reboot, you probably know what I'm talking about. There's gonna be a lot of extra dungeons, extra stuff, extra hidden everything that you can just find around and scavenge. And you can then upgrade your weapons, find new weapon pieces that make new weapons, and it's all pretty fun if you like that sort of thing. I definitely enjoyed it, and of course, you know, it's not entirely just that. There is of course the story of it, which was pretty enjoyable. It's not the story of the century, but I definitely enjoyed the story. Especially the end parts of it were quite nice. Yeah, there's horrible glitches towards in the last fight for some reason that actually broke it. Like minorly broke it, like you had to restart the scenario. Fortunately not the game, didn't crash the whole game or anything, but I had to start the final boss like 4 or 5 times because of a glitch. I actually have a highlight video of it, so you can go check that out. Lara and Constantine perform some magic tricks, but still, nothing truly game breaking. It took me a few extra tries because of that, but it's went through, enjoyed the game. And we moved on to a game called Arcanum of Steamworks and Magica Obscura. So it's an old computer RPG, or Western RPG, whichever term you prefer. I can't really say too much about that game yet, except that the main setting and theme of it is that it's basically a fantasy realm, but with the addition of steampunk. It's maybe not that much steampunk per se, but it's like got technology and magic intertwined in the setting, which I find pretty interesting as an idea, at least. I tried to start it after the Tomb Raider, but it didn't quite want to work as it straight out of the box, so then I got a couple of hours in on Thursday, but there was still a bit of a lag issue. The game was running horribly for some reason, which I fortunately got fixed after Thursday's cast, so, you know, come tomorrow it should be working just fine. And on the weekends, you guessed it, Darkest Dungeon. I actually got to try the actual place in the game. Went there for the first time yesterday on Saturday's cast that I did on the monitor TV, and well, my whole team died. So it didn't go too well. I barely made it to the boss. Sort of the worst part of that is that normally when you go into a boss, you go through a boss run, you can look at the map layout because it doesn't show what's in the way and what's in each individual room, but it does show you the layout, so you can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that room is the furthest from my starting place, so that's where the boss is. Normally you can count it like that. In the Darkest Dungeon, you see the rooms immediately next to the room you're in, and that's it. You see the further layout after you move into the next room, then it shows you the rooms next to that. You don't see the whole layout, so you're going somewhat blind in terms of like which way you should be going. As for the boss fight, one of my guys died before I even got to the boss, but I didn't feel like running away because it also says in the start that if you try to run away from that dungeon, you're gonna have to sacrifice one of your guys. So if you're just entering there, you know that you either go through it with no one dies, or if you try to just back out of there, someone is gonna die. You're gonna have to sacrifice someone to get out of that dungeon. So after one of my guys died, I lost it. I went off the handle myself and just decided to try and brute force it somehow, and I barely made my way to the boss. All my guys had gotten afflictions at that point. They were going off the handle as well, and well, then the boss killed me. But on Sunday at least I got through the last 2 bosses, and on Saturday I beat 2 of the remaining 4 champion level bosses, and on Sunday I beat the last 2. One of them kicked my ass, Sunken Crew. The first time I tried that today. It killed one of my guys, and I had to escape, and then I went and did the Brigand 16 pounder instead, and then I at the end of the stream I went back to the Sunken Crew with a lot more guys with stun abilities and managed to somehow hammer that through. Those are all done. So now basically story progress goals, I just have to do 4 runs of Darkest Dungeon. So next weekend is gonna be interesting. Until then, see you next time. Bye!